And welcome to the show. I am Ian Silverman, and joining me today is my co-host and guest, Reed Malone.
Hello, everyone. Yes, hello.
Hi, Reed. Great to have you on the show. So me and Reed go way, way back, like very, very far back, some might say.
Oh, yeah.
So we went to school together at USC. So that is how we crossed paths.
But they paid us to go there. We didn't pay to go there.
Yeah, that's a good distinction you made. I'm glad you brought that up. So yeah, I guess we should address first and just get it off the table, get it out of the way. During the course of this podcast, there should be no FBI investigations or any IRS inquiries. So, you just want to know you're in good, trusted hands, I think.
Oh, yeah. No bribes were made. So, not for them, not from us to them.
Exactly. That big envelope I mailed you was something else, totally unrelated, definitely completely legal.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So I think one of the first things we wanted to just jump into right now is just talk a little bit about the box office, what some things that have been happening, some trends, especially in lead up to Avengers, which is surely going to dominate most of the box office and its revenue for this week and weeks to come. So this past weekend we saw Easter weekend, which was the lowest box office weekend in the past 14 years. And really, it's been a trend for the whole beginning of 2019, getting off to a slow start at the box office. So we're looking to see, of course, Avengers pick up the rest of the weight there. But we've also seen some movies flop that were supposed to help in this area. One in particular was the Hellboy remake. Reed, what have you heard about that?
Uh, yeah, the Hellboy, that story is pretty crazy. Um, the producers kind of took over from Neil Marshall, the director. Kind of nuts that they fired I forget his first name, McCurdy, the cinematographer, just because they could just to send a message to Neil Marshall, which is absurd. And then they argued over everything. There was an article, I think it was in the Wrap, and they talked about they argued over like the producers, Neil Marshall would tell the actors something, and then the producers would totally change what he said and be like, no, do it this way. Or they argued over a tree, whether the tree should be symmetrical or asymmetrical. Just
Oh,
it seems
unbelievable.
it seems like it was such a shit show, in behind the scenes, and obviously
Yeah.
that doesn't really pan out for a movie.
Yeah, no, I would go out on a limb and first I want to say that I've never made a movie, but just out of intuition, I would say that's just not what you want. That's just not how you want your ship to be run. So
Right.
definitely some hiccups along the way, which kind of translate to the reception of the movie. It's getting kind of its butt whipped in terms of critical response. And think it has like a low double digit teen number on Rotten Tomatoes. So
Yeah,
it looks like it's
11%.
yeah, it might be a big old piece of shit. So that might be an issue as well, which is kind of surprising. So I guess we should get into the anthology behind Hellboy, and that this is a reboot of a movie based on a comic book, but the first two Hellboys, Hellboy, and then Hellboy 2 Golden Army came out in 2000 and 2004. And those were actually very well liked. Have you ever seen those?
I've seen the original Hellboy, but never not the second one.
Yeah, so what did you think of at least the first one, the first Hellboy?
I liked it. It was different. It was because it was Guillermo del Toro, right? So it was kind of that kind of he has a weird but really interesting take on things, and the way he fantasy is his forte, and that was that whole uh
Well, he did the fish fucking people,
yeah,
so
yeah,
he's got some creativity for sure, as we like to call it nowadays,
yeah,
creativity.
absolutely. But I don't know why they didn't re-up him, and I forget what the actor's name was that played Hellboy, but they didn't re-up.
Ron Perlman,
Yeah,
yeah.
Perlman. Yeah, why didn't they didn't re-up them for the third movie or something? I don't know. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, so I guess more into that. So it Hellboy 1 2004, Hellboy 2 2008. So it was well received, both critically and the audience liked it. They thought it was really imaginative, inventive. So I have some box office numbers for it, which ultimately, makes or break a movie nowadays, in terms of, counting it as a success or not.
Yeah.
So Hellboy 1 made $59 million domestically, $99 million worldwide on a $66 million budget. So not great. Obviously you have to consider that even though it made more than its budget, in terms of marketing and all the other auxiliary costs that go into post-production, it's probably safe to say this first installment came out as a loss.
Mm.
Um, but I think because it's Guillermo del Toro, it was well received critically. They gave him a second one, which made 75 million domestic at the box office, 160 worldwide, which is definitely an improvement, but on a 85 million dollar budget.
Mm.
So again, this one probably was more profitable, but still, it wasn't writing big checks back to the studio for other projects to be made.
Right. But this one, and like those two in the opening weekend, they made like 23 million and like 35 respectively. And this new one only made like 12 million in the first weekend, which is awful. And I think that
Yeah,
right now
yeah.
is like,
Well, it's one of those interesting things where it probably wasn't going to make a lot to begin with, but it was making headlines prior to its release for how bad the reviews were. So, a lot of films, shout out to Gotti and John Travolta, complaining about Rotten Tomatoes and how it could skew a movie's box office intake, and I think this is probably a good example of that.
yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. But I don't know, just make a good movie and then you don't have to worry about the Rotten Tomato score. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just
Right. Yeah, no, exactly, exactly. I mean, make a good movie first and foremost, but it's like why even bother, remaking it when exactly to your point, why just, give Guillermo del Toro a more reasonable sized budget? I think, the Hellboy movies when they first came out, the superhero comic book craze wasn't what it was what wasn't then what it is today in terms of the
right.
craze and the box office dominance. I mean, Hellboy came out before Batman Begins and Superman Returns. The only really other comic book movies at the time were Spider-Man and Blade and things
Right.
like that.
Like the
Mystery Men.
Fantastic Four maybe.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, the Son of the Mask,
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
comic books movies weren't, well received or, thought of as, highbrow, fanfare as it is today when you have, Marvel chuds, talking
Right.
about, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, being the top of the Himalayas in terms of cinematic experiences and flair and drama.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, but like you would think that like they'd want to capitalize on that. You know what I mean? Like there's a huge want for even the like non-Marvel movies like DC. Like people go to see Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and Shazam. Like there's no matter what superhero it is, there's a kind of a want for it. You think they'd want to like capitalize on that and make a really good movie, but they just like had their heads up their asses and didn't. You know?
Right. No, absolutely. And like with Guillermo del Toro, like back then the comic books weren't as big as they were today. So, the money they made, wasn't that bad. I think they just had too inflated of budgets, given given where the trends at the box office were at the time. But then also Guillermo wasn't as a household of a name as he is today.
True.
He didn't have an Oscar at that point, and he got a lot of acclaim working with Peter Jackson and the Hobbit and things like that, and some of his other projects that's come out. So, I think just his name alone could have driven Hellboy over
Right.
the $13 million opening weekend box office. So, I think this is just going back to the first thing you brought up about the producers.
Yeah.
Just being a bunch of greedy assholes. So they can't stop themselves from losing their own money.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, you'd think that maybe that's why they were so involved. Like, it's their money, but like, I mean, you hired those guys for a reason. Like, let them do their job, and it didn't seem like they did. Plus, I guess David Harbour. This kind of breaks my heart because I love him in Stranger Things, but I guess he was
Yeah.
but he was like he would walk off the set and he was trying to rewrite the script and all that stuff, which like kind of makes me upset because like I really really like him on Stranger Things, but hopefully he's not that big of an asshole on everything he does. Maybe it's just like this whole environment was like toxic, but who knows?
Yeah, maybe Stranger Things got to his head. Maybe
Yeah,
he thinks
maybe.
it's a big shot.
Yeah,
Working
true.
with all those little kids, you can assert so much dominance.
It's a good point. I didn't think about it
Yeah,
that way.
he can drink beer and his cast
Co-stars can't.
can't even drive. Freaking idiots.
That's true. That's a good point. I don't really think about it that way.
Yeah, the power complex is probably really striking within himself.
Welcome to the grown-up world, though, man. That sucks for him. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess they got paid either way, but I feel like those producers are going to be so screwed out of like any jobs now. Like, no one's going to want to work with them, you know?
Yeah, I would probably say for the most part, though, I mean, unfortunately, their reputation is going to be hurt the least amount because they're usually the one, uh, backing money and things of
Yeah,
that
I guess
nature.
it's true.
There's the one pulling the strings to begin with. So, it's interesting because, similar instance with the Fantastic Four that came out in 2015, the one with Michael B. Jordan and Miles Teller, that was really bad. And that was another situation where the director, Josh Trank, he started bad mouthing the movie before it came out, saying this isn't the movie that I made. It was completely remade during production. The studio changed all this shit. So he tried to torpedo his own movie in a way because of
Yeah. The
way the producers took his movie. He felt.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy how that stuff works like that. Like they just like, why would you want to trash your own movie before it comes out? But yeah, I just felt bad. I feel bad for Neil Marshall because he's like I feel like he's really talented. Like
Yeah.
he did the article mentioned he did Blackwater in Game of Thrones, and that's like one of the best episodes of Game of Thrones, and it like captures like there's like possible impending doom, but you also get like really like in this episode like someone's about to come attack this city, and you like see that like everyone's about to die, but he captures like the impending doom, but he also is able to combine that with like you like feel empathy for the characters, you know what I mean? And I feel like Hellboy is kind of the same thing where like I didn't see the movie, but like he basically has to save the world, right? Like the world is ending if he doesn't like defeat this demigod or whatever. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah, probably. I'd assume. I didn't see it. I mean, just Hellboy,
yeah,
probably.
I
Yeah.
just read this like
The world or heaven or hell. I don't know.
he's got to save something. Like there's impending doom again, and like it would be cool to connect with the characters, but obviously that didn't happen because
So much doom. Always doom.
Doom, so much doom.
So much doom. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So all in all, a bad movie, very poorly done.
That neither of us have seen.
Neither of us have seen. Yes, true.
But complete shit. Absolutely. All right, put it on the books. But something I wanted to bring up, just circle back one last time on this subject, because we didn't actually really even talk about the box office. We kind of just talked, and that's great. That's good. That's what you want. But something I remember reading about is how when directors would make a movie and they realized it sucked or they hated it or something, back in the day they used to put like a fake name, an alias in the credits.
Oh wow.
And so I just looked it back up for the name, and it was Alan Smithy. Smithee. So I guess there's like dozens of movies with like the director named Alan Smithy or Smythe.
Oh,
Um,
that's everyone does the same name.
yeah, everyone just
Oh, wow.
throws it under this name. So whoever is the poor bastard who actually has that name, I hope he never goes into film. But yeah, yeah, unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, also, nothing really happened at the box office last weekend anyway.
Yeah,
So,
like
because the big thing is this weekend, right?
yeah, absolutely. The
You
Avengers,
know,
yeah.
are they going to break the opening weekend record?
Dude, I think they are. I think they might. You had a point about you think it might break 300 million, and I think you might be right.
I
And
think, yeah. Ooh, go.
I have an X factor for you, my friend.
Ooh, yes. X marks the
Okay.
spot. X marks the factor.
So, you know, when it's raining out, there's not much to do, right? Like in your house, you get pretty bored. So like at least in my family, we're like, well, let's go see a movie. Like it's something to do.
True.
And-
Oh, ooh, do you bring out the weather? Do you
oh
got
yeah,
weather
dude. Oh
patterns?
yeah.
Yes. Yes. God damn it, Reed. Yes. Let's go.
Of the top 15 cities in the country based on population, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight of them are going to have either cloud. It's going to be either cloudy or rain this weekend. I think that adds to the people going to the movie. They'll be like, "Well, we should see Avengers."
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a perfect storm.
And of those eight, New York City, LA, and Chicago, the 1, 2, and 3 number cities, are all going to have rain and or clouds.
Unbelievable.
So I think
It's perfect. It's gonna happen.
I think it'll happen. Plus, like this movie is supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So it's supposed to be good. The review embargo has already lifted, and it has like a 98% or 97% grade on Rotten Tomatoes. So everyone's already speaking highly of it. It already opened in China. It made like 28 million in its preview night, which was a record for China, and believe in its first day it broke 100 million, but was just behind Wolf Warrior 2 for China's all-time opening first day. But either way, it's going to make gangbusters, and I think I saw some estimates for its first 5 days. First 5 days, the whole world, it's going to make it could make upwards of $850 million.
Holy shit!
Yeah, sheesh capiche. That's
Sheesh.
too much cheese for the one mouse. It's too much cheese for one mouse, Mickey. Goddamn. Unbelievable. It's
That's
too much.
unbelievable.
They've gone too far.
Oh, they have. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they. I mean, whatever Disney's done, I don't know how they did it, but it's genius. This whole like,
Well, it's
I don't know how they revived.
it's unbelievable because when you think about it, it's of course it's a lot of standalone superhero movies and then some crossovers strung along, but this is a 22 movie anthology, and there's even more outside of it in terms of the early Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and
Right.
things like that. But it's 22 movies. It's a hell of a lot. And
The
for
Coen-
for this to be coming now to a close, and they did it well in the sense that for the most part they were always like pretty well reviewed, and they had a little bit for everyone. So it was a big thing they've done.
huge, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. You've seen it today, right, or tonight?
Yeah. So I'm seeing it tonight. Originally had it planned for I think it was 11:30 showing because they have showings all throughout the whole night.
Right, especially in San Francisco, I'm sure.
Yeah. So it was originally 11:30, and then I realized it has a 3-hour runtime. I would be getting out close to 3 a.m., which would be not ideal. So I switched it to 9 o'clock. So never been more happy to now be getting out at midnight or 12:30, but it has to be done.
Yeah.
But one thing I was surprised about was that there were still even tickets. I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's
looked for the
crazy.
first time today, and the whole theater wasn't empty, but there was definitely a couple tickets here, a couple tickets there. So it really wasn't a problem. So, but that just may be just because it's still a weeknight, and they are rather late shows. So
Yeah, I guess that's
who
true.
knows?
Yeah, I'm surprised like when I looked up tickets for I mean, granted, I'm not in like a major city like you are, but there were probably less show times, but it was like impossible to find a ticket, other than at like 12:30 at night for like anywhere around me. So I'm thinking of I think Friday, or Saturday morning maybe. But yeah, it's gonna be. I'm really excited.
Well, yeah,
Um,
I mean, you probably saw the stories about, people selling their Marvel Avengers ticket for like $500 on eBay,
yeah, yeah,
or for the 7 o'clock showing, I guess
unbelievable.
on the East Coast, because that makes a difference too, because
Oh yeah, you're
it's
first.
probably it in what from right now, from when this is being recorded, not from when whoever's listening to this is listening to it. From right now, it's half an hour till 7 o'clock on the East Coast, and I think that's it. I think it's happening.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good point. Yeah,
I think the cat is about to be released from the bag.
I just hope it's not spoiled for me before I see it. Who
Yeah, that
are
would suck.
who are your top five deaths? Like if you most surprising, like yeah, I don't know, like most surprising, or who you think is gonna die or who won't come back or whatever.
well, so just by thinking about it for 3 seconds, I can eliminate people based on the fact that they already have movies coming out about them. Um, so Black Panther is not going to die, of
Right.
course. Spider-Man is not going to die. They already have the trailer up. The trailer actually might run before this movie of his next movie, in which it would be a trailer for a movie he's in which when the movies start, he will be dead in that universe. So that would be cool. That would be something. That could really blow the tits right off the door just from the get-go. That'd be nuts. Sorry, what were we talking about again? Oh, death predictions. Yeah. Um, Captain Marvel, she won't die. Um, I think okay, so I'll talk about who I think will die.
Mhm.
Good. Um,
Good segue.
I think Thanos is gonna die.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. All right, yeah,
yeah, I think the good guys will win.
I
Kind
agree.
of kind of a theme for most of these Marvel movies.
True.
Um, so yeah, Thanos, whatever, Thronos, he's gonna
Fair
die.
enough.
I think Iron Man. I think Iron Man's gonna die.
I agree.
Yeah, I think he's gonna die, and that Pepper Potts is gonna have a baby,
Oh shit.
and then there's gonna be Iron Man baby movie, Super Baby Genius Iron Man, Super Baby Iron Man Genius,
Iron Baby.
Iron Baby Iron Baby Genius. Almost said Iron Baby Jesus, which might even be cooler.
I'd see that movie. Iron Baby Jesus. That would be sick.
Yeah,
He
that
could
would
never
be
get to the cross. He'd just be.
that'd be the tits. I think. I think Hawkeye's. Oh, yeah. I think Hawkeye's gonna die
Yeah.
because I also remember Disney's now doing with their Disney Plus. They have uh TV shows and Marvel TV shows coming out, and they've already announced a couple like Red Mystic or whatever, and the Black Hawk guy,
Oh. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
black guy who's the Hawk, who's not Don Cheadle and he's not Hawkeye, but yeah, that guy. He has his TV show, so he's not gonna die. And then
Right.
Loki has a TV show, so he's not gonna die. Um, so yeah, maybe just Iron Man, maybe just Robert Downey Jr.
What do you
And I
think
think
about?
Hawkeye.
What do you think about? What's his name? Chris Pratt, Star Lord, or whatever. I forget his name.
Yeah, Star-Lord. So I actually just finished watching Avengers Infinity War this morning.
Smart.
Just as a refresher, and I actually just remembered that he had died at the end.
Oh, does he go? Oh, that's right. Yeah,
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 yeah.
he
He goes.
disappears. And something I want to call out, and something that I forgot that I hated about Infinity War, is that there's too many times there's like a dilemma between the good guy Avenger characters where they're deciding to kill one of them or sacrifice one of them or put their pride aside for a second in order to like
Save
kill
the world.
save no the universe
The universe. That's right.
universe trillions of
Half of the
people
universe.
for what you're that's their trade-off. That's what they're contemplating sometimes. One person for trillions, trillions, and it's supposed to be this huge moral dilemma. And it just shouldn't be at all. I think it should be if they were real heroes.
Yeah,
uh
I agree.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I just can't wait for uh conservative redneck Facebook to be when all these, Avengers, get brought back, to life with whatever magic goes on. I can't wait for the memes like a troop being laid to rest and saying our heroes can't be saved with the Infinity Stones or something like that. Because I saw that with Easter of like not all heroes resurrect after 3 days, and it was like a bumper sticker with like a troop. Pew pew.
That would be excellent. I'm excited for that too. But yeah, I don't like I agree with you. They kind of tried to make like they tried to make them too human, like yeah, like they'd be like, yeah, these people have flaws too, like, they're superheroes, but they I don't know, it was like I feel like they could have done that in a different way rather than like Thanos almost dies like four times, but then he doesn't because someone like
Right. And
makes
and that's another thing. It's like he's so powerful. It's like sometimes he's just like flick of the wrist and like everyone's just getting blown to shit and being flown and just eviscerated, evaporated. And then other times it's like Captain America can get a punch in and it's like
yeah.
how he like shouldn't if he's like been able, a giant Hulk comes at him and he can just essentially like make himself, invisible and get flown through and then you can cop a right hook from Steve Rogers. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
That's
the whole
that's
like the power dynamic of the Marvel universe is very confusing to me. Like who's most powerful or who's like who is what I mean? Like what con-
I feel like it's one of those like high school hookup webs. Oh, in terms of like who can defeat who, because it feels like they're all connected in terms of like one can beat one of it's like a high school hookup web and also like rock paper scissors shoot, and that everyone has a weakness. So no, not all is all powerful, but
right.
so it's like Thanos could probably kill everyone, but then it's probably going to be like Ant-Man can kill Thanos, even though a lot of other people can kill Ant-Man. One of those things.
Right, right.
Like
What do you
not
think
all squares are a rectangle, but not all rectangles are squares, but not no, all squares are rectangles, but
yeah, you're
ever.
right. Good. No,
Yeah,
no. Squares are rectangles,
we'll
rectangles are
edit this
squares.
out. We'll edit this out. Don't worry. Don't worry.
What do you
That
think
was
about
actually good. This is the first mistake we've made, and we can edit it out. And we have
the
that technology. Perfect.
what do you think of the what do you think of the Ant-Man calling up Thanos' butthole and then expanding theory? You think that's gonna happen? I think yes.
I think that's the only way for them to end this series with any dignity. I think that's the only option they have.
I,
They were saying to bring your tissues to the theater for whatever way you want to interpret that. That's up to you. But bring tissues. Yeah, no, I could see Ant-Man doing some crazy shit. I think that'd be really cool. I think why not? Um, but it is interesting to think about what this series has done to cinema as a whole. I mean, we just had the first Marvel movie nominated for Best Picture. With this closing out a chapter, it's surely going to be one of the highest grossing movies ever. So it's kind of, reached into so many different, sectors of cinema in terms of being, regarded as a good highbrow entertainment, box office acclaim. What do you think it's had a good or bad impact?
Um, I don't know, man. I'm kind of over all the superhero stuff. Like it's so.
It's
I don't know.
endless.
It's what?
It's endless.
Yeah, it's kind of played out. I feel like 22 movies is a lot of
And that's
movies.
just from one franchise.
Right.
We're
Yeah,
talking about
exactly.
DC 2, X-Men,
Yeah. And like
whatever.
I I mean I'm all for like a block like a summer blockbuster, a Hollywood blockbuster, whatever. But when there's like 22 movies, it's just a lot. And I would much rather have original like new unique movies than like the same superhero movie over and over again. You know what I mean? Because that's basically what happens in like all these movies. It's like kind of all the same. Maybe
Yeah.
eventually different. Maybe I'm wrong, but like
No, no, no. I think you're exactly right in saying that there's so much repetitiveness
yeah,
in
yeah,
in these movies. It's like you it's there's such a non-organic formula at this point in terms of like, hero learns about themselves, things are going well, obstacle
right,
overcome, beats the bad guy at the end, copy and paste to the next one. I mean, it's very repetitive, and it's gotten to the point though where it is dominating the box office. So those original films, there's nothing left over for them in terms of
right.
a piece of the pie for them to be justified in being made.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like if it's unfair is the wrong word, but like if a family of four is gonna go see a movie and this is like the one outing they have, this is the one movie they see or whatever, like they're gonna pick something relatively predictable, that's gonna like they've seen it before. I don't know. So if those were eliminated, I feel like more unique original movies would be able to like enter the mainstream. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's made a ton of money, so I guess like
Yeah.
you can't
Well, yeah,
fault it.
you have to vote with your wallet. That's
Yeah,
that's
it's
the
true.
end goal. You have to vote with your wallet, and that's why like something with like what Jordan Peele's doing with original, highbrow adult skewing entertainment, making it where it's grossing a lot of money. I think it's now the second highest grossing movie of 2019 so far. That's what you want. That's things that can, pump authenticity and originality back into the movie theater because it's now like a one-off thing. That's something original. It's like kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, uh, Us was awesome. I mean, I still have like 1,000 questions about it, but movies like that were like, who would have thought that Jordan Peele would be an amazing like horror director? You know what I mean? This like comedic guy who like did this
Yeah.
skits and stuff. But more opportunities like that for people would be excellent because then you get amazing movies like Get Out or Us, and like you know it can only be good. Speaking of Us, I had that as a recent watch, and dude, I'm like my mind was blown. Like I have so many questions about it.
Yeah. What are the top questions that are keeping you up at night?
So like so I mean I guess this is spoilers for people who haven't seen it, but like so
Everyone's seen
Adelaide,
it.
what?
Everyone's seen it. They're idiots if they haven't.
I agree. Yes.
Idiots. I don't
So
care who hasn't seen it, who I'd be calling an idiot. You're an idiot.
mom.
Yeah, I don't care. Idiot. Sorry.
um, so
I'll edit this.
so so the original Adelaide is
What,
red.
what's Adelaide?
The chick,
Oh, that's her name.
the
Yes.
mom. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So she's the original one?
The 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 mom that you get from the beginning.
Yes. Is
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was the whole twist at the end was the one who got away, who ended up surviving, was actually the one from the underground to begin with. They were switched when they were kids.
Holy crap.
Because Red was the only one of the tethered or whatever who was able to talk, even though her voice was so fucked.
Yeah.
She was still able to form words, and then none of the other underground tethered ones could talk.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah,
then
so that's one of the ways you can tell earlier on, like kind of a
Right.
precursor,
and then
foreshadow.
and then why did the tether exist again? Just like to
Yeah, so yeah, no, I mean this is something that I had a problem with the movie to begin with. So it kind of just glosses over that, and that at one point the government created them to replicate us humans. But then there was something about like, but they don't know how to replicate the soul, so it's these like lifeless or soulless bodies underground, and there was some way that the government were able to use them to control the people above, like
okay.
puppets, like inverse puppets instead of, like puppet masters with strings from above. It's kind of like from below, but that's mentioned in like a line or two, and it's never really, like how were they able to control you through the tethered people, or like why was it, all of a sudden unable to, for this operation to go on, like what stopped it from continuing. So it's very ambiguous in that sense. So that's a critique I have of it.
Yeah. Like I mean, it was an amazing movie, but some of it was like some stuff was just kind of glossed over. Like and if
Yeah, very shallow. There's like very shallow details.
yeah. And like if the tethered people controlled the people up top, then why could like the sun kind of control the like tethered sun?
Yeah, so I guess it was like the government had some type of intervention where they could use the people to below to control them from above, but the tethered people down below on their own couldn't control them from above. So they were just kind of
Uh,
wandering around aimlessly down there.
oh,
But it was only when the girl was switched that the tethered underneath were able to figure out some idea what was going on, because the girl who was now down there had a life up above, so she knew, that they were being bamboozled, they were living a life as a lie underground. So that's when the she started planning for the uprising.
oh, I see.
Yeah, but no, I mean it to what I think you're getting at is that, there are these kind of, important questions that should fuel the movie. That's good, but these questions that were not well flushed out.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, still an outstanding movie. I really liked it.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, it was really good. And one of my favorite scenes actually was, and I haven't really heard many people talking about it, is at the beginning when the girl first walks into the mirror on the beach and it's raining. She has like the red apple and she drops it, and that kind of like to me was like signified something about like Adam and Eve and
oh
uh,
yeah,
loss of innocence, because then later on, that
Dinner's ready.
okay.
I
Who is it?
Yeah.
Hi, Ian. How are you?
good. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. What are
What's
you
for
guys
dinner?
doing?
Podcasting.
Oh my God. Okay. Are you ready to eat?
Yeah, I can eat soon.
Okay. When will you be finished?
Soon probably.
Okay.
We can edit that out or keep it in. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no, we'll keep it in. Or I can work on some of my editing skills. It'll be great. But yeah, no. So the red apple scene, that was good, because then Red later on says that she saw the light of God, and it was God's purpose that she was switched and kept underground. So I thought that was an interesting connection. But then again, something that was easily could have been missed by anyone else. So why it wasn't made a bigger point, I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, what a movie. Also, another movie I liked recently. I don't know if you got to watch it, but Shazam. Did you see it?
Yeah, so I did just see it. Yeah, what did you think about it? You were
I
saying
liked
you
it a
liked
lot.
it.
I mean, I think it was super entertaining and like funny, but it also like kind of was also emotional. You know what I mean? Like it didn't like a critique I have of like the Marvel movies is that there's like a really intense moment or like it's sad or you feel uncomfortable and then they like break it with like a comedic relief. And they did that a little bit in Shazam, but there are moments where you were like, damn, like this is really heavy. You know what I mean? Like the part when he sees his mom like for the first time, like that was you expect this like whole big reunion and like it didn't happen. And then like there was nothing to like fix that moment. It was just like you experienced that moment, which I really, really liked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it was definitely a lot darker than what I had anticipated, that scene exactly. But then even with the villain and his stuff going on at the beginning, those were
Oh,
like
yeah.
some pretty traumatic scenes with the accident that goes on. So it was heavy, but it was really good. And then I really enjoyed kind of the twist at the end, with all of his,
Oh
orphans
yeah, yeah.
siblings being Shazam people. So that's something I had no idea about, and no, kind of interesting in a way that they kind of kept that plot detail under wraps.
Mhm.
So it was kind of cool they held out on that as kind of a bonus for going and seeing the movie yourself. I think that played off well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was like kind of like the Power Rangers, but way cooler. Like it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, it kind of exactly looks like the Power Rangers because they
Yeah,
Power Rangers have like the lightning bolt too and
yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous, but yeah,
yeah,
no, that was and that's another DC movie that's doing well.
yeah,
So that's their like third good one in a row. So
yeah. Hopefully they fix like because they like completely ruined the Batman movies. So hopefully they fix that and like the Superman and I don't know those movies I thought were awful. So hopefully
we have the Joker to look forward to.
that's right. Oh yes, I forgot about that. Yeah, let's get to like what movies are you super excited for this summer? Like give me like two or three that you're like pumped for.
Oh
Or
yeah. So I mean, Godzilla looks really good.
I
I think.
agree. Wait, but I have a thing about that. There's so many monsters in there. Like, how are we? Like, I'm worried that how are they going to get to all of them? You know what I mean? How are they going to tie it all in? I guess you have to see the
Yeah,
movie,
too many monsters in the kitchen. Absolutely.
but
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen like the runtime, so I don't know how long the film will be itself. But
but the trailer looks fucking awesome.
yeah, it looks intense, like super super good. So I think that's gonna like be really good, and I guess it's like in the same universe as the Skull Island. So
Oh,
now,
King Kong. Oh
yeah, so
yes,
there's gonna be a King Kong versus Godzilla after this.
I love that.
So yeah, I'm super pumped to see that. And then there has isn't too many like big blockbuster movies. I'm like super amped about this summer for the most part. I think Toy Story 4 doesn't really look that good in terms of like nostalgia. I didn't think
Yeah,
The Lion King. I think it's just gonna be like just the same thing redone. Like it'll look cool, but I'm not gonna like be super excited for that.
right.
Um, I am excited for Midsummer, which is Ari
Yeah,
Aster. He did Hereditary, so that was really good. So I'm really excited to see him in his sophomore effort. And then let's see what else. I don't know. I guess maybe the Joker comes out in October.
yeah.
So that's still
There's
a while
there's
away.
there's one big one that you're missing.
Which one? Oh,
John.
John Wick, of
Oh yeah,
course. Yeah, well, that because that's not really a movie for me anymore.
it's an
That's
experience.
that's a life
It's life.
experience. Yeah, that's unbelievable. Do you have any John Wick plans as of yet?
Not right now, but dude, I don't know if this is just the first one I've been involved with, but like their marketing campaign is awesome. Like they'd like if you sign up for like or like you text this number, they text you all these updates and stuff. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. So that's been great. So yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Reed and I and a few other people we know, we've signed up for this texting campaign. So we get like maybe once a week, maybe a little bit longer than that. We get like a text from some John Wick number about, a new trailer dropping soon, or on Valentine's Day, I could create my own John Wick Valentine's Day card.
Right.
So that's been really cool and really interactive. So I think I'm, of course, super, super excited for it. I mean, I think it's just going to be the best. I just love it. I just love it.
Just love it. Just love it. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I mean, like, oh, it's gonna be so good. I want to know how I just want to see the scene where he's on the horse and he's like shooting the guy on that still of like him on the horse.
Yeah.
That meme. Oh my God.
That's going to go down in the bowels of cinema history as, the reason why we go to movies. We go to movies to see John Wick on a horse.
It's true.
Blowing brains. and I think it's so meta. I think it's so profound. It's just so, so four-dimensional chess that now there's dogs killing bad guys in this movie.
Oh,
it went from bad guys killing dogs, a dog, how we got into this whole mess to begin with, and now we've come full circle. Dogs are killing bad guys.
I love how they kind of leaned into the like, not ridiculousness, maybe is the wrong word, but like kind of the joke, if you will, of like he's killing all these people just because it's his dog, but they like totally leaned into it and like made it kind of not a joke, but they like played along. You know what I mean? So they like they're like playing off the audience and like the reaction from the audience, and I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, they're kind of like breaking the fourth wall a little bit and like falling into their own joke, which is like super cool to see.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Well, yeah, I can't add. John Wick was the only one I was going to add, but like, yeah, I agree with all your thoughts. I mean, I think Lion King will be cool, but it won't be like. I mean, it's not going to be better than the original, but it'll be cool to see it in like a different like space. You know what I mean? Like in 3D or whatever it's called, live action.
Yeah. And oh my God, I completely forgot about the Tarantino.
Oh yes. Hollywood.
So, yeah, of course, that's going to be, I think unbelievable. So
I agree.
Really looking forward to that. And, a lot of hate on that because, a lot of people think it's strictly about the Manson murders and whether it's, going to be paying respect to the victims and Sharon Tate. But it's not really about the Manson murders. That kind of is a backdrop in the story as a whole. It's more just like a period piece.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be about like the dude and his buddy who's his stuntman, and like they just so happen to be around. It'll be like kind of like a Forrest Gump kind of thing where they just have to be around in like this crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like because I think it'll be something where the time and the setting is the character itself.
Yeah,
for sure. About this time in life.
Yeah, I agree.
Because when did Manson
was it the
do things? Yeah, it was in the 60s. When was it? Was it 69? Because like there was so much happening in like 69.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. 68, 69.
Yeah, 69. I mean, yeah, the war going on. We landed on the moon in 1969. I actually think a lot of people consider 1969 to be one of the most important years. It was also an election year.
Yeah.
So there was a president inaugurated earlier in 69.
Yeah, true. Damn. And I'm pretty sure it was Nixon, right?
Yeah. Unbelievable. What a year. What a time. 69. If you were alive, you were kicking it. Woodstock happened in 69.
Damn. Wow, that's going to be a great movie.
Counterculture was bustling. Everyone was doing drugs. Everyone was dropping balls. It was awesome. I remember. Through my third eye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'll be great. I'm excited for that one too. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. Well, I will, I of course left it in, so I'll let you get to dinner.
Thank you. Yes.
Save me a plate. But
will,
it was
of course.
great having you on. I'm sure we'll have you on again, and
you.
have a blessed movie going and life.
Yes, you too. Have fun at Avengers. I'm really jealous that you're going tonight.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I will. By the time I probably get out of it, you'll be waking up in the morning.
So true, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well,
All
thanks for
right.
having me on. I appreciate it.